So, okay. This morning, I get out my old phone right here, and I take it out of the case because, a few streamers said I like taking my phone out of the case when I'm using it for filming. And I'm like, okay, this has it's a phone camera, but it's got, okay resolution, better than my laptop, which is 720. So this is 720, I think it's 30 or 60 frames per second, but at least this is 60 frames per second at 1080, and then 4K at 30 frames per second. So then I capture. Let me pull up the video, because I wanted to capture an hour of video footage today, and I got some good video footage today that I actually wanted to listen back to, just personally, not even a setting up a blog thing, because obviously I'm not going to set up a monetized blogging business. I have no target audience, and nor did I ever want to, or build some kind of collage of something, because I'm too poor to actually do anything of value, make any power play whatsoever. I can't even, I would like to say, oh yeah, I'd like to go on some kind of trip, adventure, go somewhere, and it's I can't even afford, the cost of travel, because it basically costs money to breathe air practically. It's, oh yeah, you want to breathe some air, here's that's $5, that's a joke, it's my dry sense of humor. So then I capture videos like this morning, and then I go to play it back, and the audio doesn't work on this phone anymore, so I guess I'm going to have to use my laptop camera, and I guess the camera doesn't have working audio now, which doesn't make sense, because I went under the settings and nothing has changed, so now I'm turning on the camera and the audio doesn't work. So that would be something for, being that I'm not a specialist in, I could probably go through the settings. Maybe it's something in the settings with the, they call it a GUI, which means a user interface. So what I did change was I changed my phone home screen to a Windows 10 home screen. And that might have screwed up the camera app right there, so I might have to change the Windows 10. This is called a GUI. That's it's a funny word. It's GUI, which GUI. You learn that in week 1 of IT tech support, and I changed it to the Windows 10 version, and that might be messing with Android's compatibility with their camera app. So that might be why the audio isn't working. But it was nice because I had to set up on a tripod and everything, and I got some outdoor workout footage, e-bike riding, mechanic. I was doing a little bit of mechanics. The pedal fell off of my bike because all the threads got rusted out from the road salt. Rusted all the threading out where the pedal attaches to the crank arm. So now basically I need a new crank arm, a new crank arm, which is what the pedal is attached to. They call it a crank. So that's what you crank to get the drivetrain spinning, to get the chain spinning, and then to get the motor running. And I don't have a throttle on my bike. It's in my storage garage 15 miles that way, so I can't put the throttle on there and just ride with a throttle. So I have to get 50 miles away to get to my storage garage to get my throttle, and that would probably cover the problem. And then, I don't have a tool to rethread it, and I really don't want to do surgery on a $10 crank arm. So I don't want to spend any money on bikes, but I've got to spend. It's like somebody, like you're saying, oh yeah, I'm not spending any money for car maintenance. I'm not, spending any money on that. And then you go and try to get to work, and then you get in a car crash, and suddenly you have to buy a new car. It's like, wow, I was just saying I didn't want to buy this. Do any car maintenance, and suddenly I have to buy a new car. That's life. It's like, yeah, apparently I gotta get a new crank arm. And I've been looking up components for mopeds, and it's cheaper to replace components in a 49cc 4-stroke moped engine than it is to for biking components. So biking is not a cheap hobby, and it's kind of getting sickening spending money on bike components, which I haven't done in a while. Yeah, at that, the last thing I bought was brake pads in California when my brake pad went out, and yeah. So it's like I'm not even. It's like I'm even buying a new e-bike. I'm buying replacing components on my bike because 100 miles of within the span of 100 miles of riding in road salt, all your drivetrain and everything can be rusted out. The threading in your crank arm. So yeah. So now I've only got one pedal on it. Fun. So yeah, I got it down to the library, and I did an outdoor workout for a half an hour before the library opened. I did some push-ups and stuff like that, not nonchalant, I'm not gonna do some crazy outdoor workout because I'm not an athlete. I can get strong, but not strong like an athlete strong. I'm 5'8", 163 pounds. So at best, I could say I would be like an average person getting strong, someone who put it this way. Okay, I'm not a basketball player. Maybe I'm not even as good as an average basketball player, but I can play some basketball, I'm not a runner, but I can go and run a half marathon if I willed myself to do it, that's what I mean, So that's what I'm saying is I'm not going there trying to do some crazy outdoor workout. And also at this point in my life, I kind of would rather be at on the beach right now doing the rings and stuff like that on the beach, and doing basic stuff like that rather than just doing some push-ups on the sidewalk. That's kind of a joke. It's dry sense of humor. Doing push-ups on a sidewalk and then finding some kind of something, whether it be a tree branch or something like that, to do pull-ups and stuff like that. And for one, I'm 163 pounds, and I have to put on quite a bit of muscle to do pull-ups at 163. When I got down to 130 pounds, when I was death skinny, 130 pounds, underweight skinny, I could I could do pull-ups, but I was dieting so hard that I was weak I was always weak, I had no energy. And I really didn't feel too I felt in a certain sense calmer. It's kind of odd when you're at 130 pounds, you do feel calmer in a certain sense, you're lighter. And then you can go for a run and suddenly you jump on the treadmill and you're running you get up to I don't remember how fast I got up to, but I was breaking 11 or 12 miles an hour or something like that. And and like I was like just cruising like pretty fast, like, you know, like fast, but like I said, it wasn't like I was an athlete, but I was pretty fast. So like in a certain respect, you feel calmer and like better, but then like, you know, you suddenly like you gain weight again, like you get up to like 200 pounds and you're like, wow, honestly I really didn't feel that much better at 130 pounds than I do now. So it's like, it's kind of stupid. So I'm at 163, so I'm like, 163 is light enough. You know, and I was just 152 pounds 3 weeks ago. I dropped like a whole bunch of like water weight, and I got really sick, and I was like 150 pounds, and then I ended up in the homeless shelter while I was really sick, and then I got my strength back up to a certain degree, and then like for the past 3 days ago, I decided to start doing some upper body work again because I haven't done any weightlifting in about a year. I stopped weightlifting, and I mean I got really like light on the bike like back in the summer when I was like doing like 50 miles a day and like a lot of bike riding. Even before I had the motor installed, I was doing some heavy bike riding and stuff like that. And I'm sure if I jumped on a bike without a motor on it and just did conventional bike riding, I could get pretty strong on that. But I don't really have a non-e-bike that's really a good bike. And even if I did, I'd jump on it and start riding in the road salt, and the whole thing would corrode immediately within about 100 miles. So that's more maintenance. It's not really a cheap hobby. So yeah, started doing. I did some upper body work, and it's helping. It actually helped a lot with the bike ride. Like, you know, when you're like sliding out and stuff like that. Like once you start sliding out, you need to have chest strength, and then like when you're cranking up the hills, you need to have, you know, lats, trapezius muscles, lats, rear deltoids. I think it's just the lats, traps, and rear deltoids is the back muscles, and then obviously the lower back as well. So yeah, that helps. That I was like surprised because I hadn't lifted in a year. I'm like, oh, I don't want to bodybuild. You know, I think that's weird. You know, I hate bodybuilding culture. I hate gym culture. I think it's all a mental illness when they start talking about like how round your muscles are and stuff like that, and like muscle connections and all that. I understand, like, cool. Like it's cool to put on some strength, but like once you start talking about like, you know, lifting weights to look better, like to me that's a mental illness. Like to me, I don't even think you look better when you lift weights. Like, because I think like people who are just like skinny with like no muscle, I think that actually looks like a lot better. So personally, to me, not to say that, you know, people don't look good like when they put on some muscle, or like there's not some like, you know, people with very thin waist don't look like, when you have a thin waist, you put on some muscle and like you look fantastic, you know. Which honestly is not like I'm saying anything mind-blowing. Everybody already kind of knows this. Or not that everybody kind of knows this, like it's not like I'm saying anything that's like blowing people's minds. You know, it's 2022 and all the millennials are pushing 30 years old now. So everybody's kind of heard everything, you know. And again, this isn't for internet notoriety. This is more a personal log, if anything. I want to start getting an hour of footage a day, just to look back on, because I find I learn a lot just from talking to a camera. You know, like certain things like, oh yeah, I noticed my eyes like pop out when I'm talking, and to me, like, it feels, it's like it's informative. Like when you look at when people look at you, you'll be talking to someone and they'll look at you like very confused, like the confused look on their face, like okay, so I walked to the gas station and I asked for, I knew 99% chance they didn't have a pedal. Like, what am I even doing walking to a gas station? I don't own a car anyways. That's kind of a joke. Obviously, if you're on the road, you might have to get on a gas station for this, that, or the other thing. It's one of the only 24-hour stores that's actually open. So, anyways, yeah, and I'm like, oh, do you have a wrench? Because the pedal corroded and fell off. Last night on I call them death rides. We were riding in the winter with a bike that has below like 2.5 tires. That would be like a death ride. So. Yeah, I asked for a wrench, and the guy's like, he goes, "What's a wrench?" And I'm like, I don't know. I just was like, I don't, and it just like looking back, like somebody goes, "What's a wrench?" Like, really? Like he was like, he's a grown man, and he's asking what a wrench is. So, like he's like a grown, like middle-aged man, and he's like, "What's a wrench?" Yeah, so then, I don't know. I don't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, the pedal fell off, and then I got back here, and, like, also my nose started bleeding on the ride. And I thought, like, wearing a face mask, like, that keeps, like, the cold air and all that, like, and keeps some of the moisture in there, which actually does help. Like, last winter I was getting nosebleeds, like, every single day when I went outside for my walks. When I was doing a walking thing last year, like, oh yeah, I want to start walking. Which now to me it kind of seems like walking is the first thing you learn to do as a human being. It's the first movement you learn how to do. First you learn how to crawl, then you learn how to walk. Like, so to me it's just like, okay. Although I do enjoy walks. In certain, like city environments, I do enjoy walking a lot. Like, to me, that feels like it's not a hobby. Obviously, not. It's commuting. But I like going to like a new city, like Chicago. I wanted to do some walking around Albuquerque, and I want to do some walking in Phoenix, New York, and I can't even afford to get there. I might have to just say screw the frickin' bike and leave it behind and just get a plane ticket, because I can get a plane ticket to some places for, $70 to $100 if I take extra layaway and do like a 20-hour flight, like where I'm going to be waiting in between flights, which is just like when you take the train. You're going to be waiting like 8 hours in Chicago before you can take the second train and take the Southwest Chief down to Los Angeles. You get a Grand Rapids 3-hour train ride, then you got to wait 8 hours, then you got to get on the train, and then it's like 3 days on the Southwest Chief to get to the West Coast. So I wouldn't mind taking a reduced ticket price to have the extra layover time. Albeit it's nice to get to a place in, 6 to 10 hours. So I might just have to say screw it and leave the bike behind. Or I could take off the motor. I could take off the battery. And just take the bike with me and leave the battery behind. I don't know. Like if I get a new crank on there and then it doesn't get corroded by salt, then I could leave the bike behind. I could take the bike with me and just take out the battery, or ship the battery via FedEx. Which is kind of, I don't know. You can take a plane ride, pay the bike fee to get the bike on the plane, and ship an e-bike battery for cheaper than taking a train across the country with the bike fee. To me, it seems like commuting across the country should be more affordable. It isn't to certain places like Miami, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, and Denver, Colorado. Those three, like Florida and then like Denver, Colorado, is like you can find tickets for $50 with the extra layaway, or like $100-ish, depending on the day, of whether it's 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out. You know, it's got to be at least over 2 weeks. You can't get it within 2 weeks for reduced prices. So now I'm just considering my next move, because, you know, I'm not at the homeless shelter right now, but now I've been in this garage for a few weeks now, and, you know, I need to go and lay my head somewhere else. You know, it's like, you know, that, it sounds cheesy, but, you know, the Metallica song, Wherever I May Roam. Like, and I understand it's cheesy, like you're bringing up a song lyric, you know, that's not real life. That's media, that's music. You know, that's only a song. That's only some words somebody wrote down on a page and then decided to audio record it. You know, so like, but you know, where I lay my head is home. I know that action might seem kind of cheesy, but you know, wherever I may roam, where I lay my head is home. I don't own a house. I don't own property. I don't know if I'll ever own property. I've got no money. I'm unemployed. You know, I'm a loser. Whatever. I'm not a winner. So I feel like it's time to lay my head somewhere else. I understand I can't live with no money. You know, but I was talking on the camera this morning. There's a whole bunch of stuff I said on the camera that I took the time, the liberty, and the due diligence to, like, get on video. You know, like, I needed to get it on video. I'm not going to be, you know, walking around with all this internally. Like, you know, everybody's got their own bubbles, and they cannot understand what's in your bubble. I'm not going to walk around with all this internally in my bubble and not, like, you know, it's metaphor, like your bubble, a metaphor, whatever. Whether there be another metaphor, like some spiritual meaning, like, oh, in your aura or whatever, like, or, you know, in your mind, or in your running through your processor, you know, whether you think of it as a mind, or, oh, you've got a processing unit, you've got a motherboard, and you've got these components for your brain, and your CPU works at this capacity and has this much RAM for this amount of time, and then when you're running 12 programs on it at one single time, then you can't store anymore in your temporary memory, and blah blah. It's a horrible metaphor because people are not fucking computers. Not that I'm saying anything that's blowing anyone's mind. This is for me and not anyone else. You know, I might post it on my YouTube account as a vlog. You know, because a vlog is very personal. It's not monetized. I would have no target audience. What's my target audience? You know, even if I put out content, like what's my, and I'm not intending to monetize it, and like, you know, there's even if I knew exactly what I was doing for some kind of something, whatever, creating some kind of videos, or just filming life, you know, like streaming, like more like a stream, like when you're streaming, like you just stream like 8 hours of life. There's no editing, it's just complete raw footage. So I kind of like that better. I really don't like the idea of like editing stuff, because I mean, what's so exciting that I could really make a, you know, it's sort of like filming a movie. But it's not, because it's still real. So I'm hoping the audio works for this. It's been working for other stuff. I was at the shelter, the homeless shelter. This is something I was talking about earlier that didn't get, the audio didn't get captured because I changed the Windows 10. So, I was at the homeless shelter a few weeks ago, and like, this is after being, at the homeless shelter for a few weeks, and they've got, I go and stay in the only other one besides Mel Trotter, and I'm sleeping like, I had just spent 5 hours putting in job applications. I must have put in like 50 plus applications. I literally had them counted on Indeed. Like I was, clicking. That's a bad word. I mean, that's not the right term. I spent 5 hours putting in applications, and like I did a very good job of it, of making I have a very good resume. I got a template and everything. Taking it seriously, and then I go to the shelter after that, and it's late. Like I got in after sign-in time, so I was only going to get about an hour of sleep there, and then I was going to have to get back up and go to not like a shelter where you sleep, but like another place where you can get like, it's like a soup kitchen, So I lie down, and then suddenly they go, everybody's got to get up. And the guy next to me gets up like 2 minutes before me, and he gets up off of his cot, and then I'm like, between me to you, and he just starts coughing on me, but like not covered up, for about 2 minutes, like, and he had bronchitis. He had bronchitis, like straight up bronchitis, like smoker's lung, and like he's old, he's an old man. He's aged. He's more than grown, he's aged. So, he just starts coughing on me, hacking his like bronchitis on me, right on me for 2 minutes, and I'm like, you keep your mouth shut, you don't talk to not when you're talking to like, homeless people, it's a better idea like not to get involved, like, let alone like give them food, obviously. If I'm on the street, like sleeping on the street, and I don't have any food, I would really appreciate if somebody gave me some food, So that's not, I'm not saying any of that, But, so yeah, I'm at the shelter, keep your mouth shut. So I'm not talking to anyone. Yes sir, no sir, thank you. And then, he starts coughing on me. Anyways, that's besides the point. So he's coughing on me for 2 minutes, and then lo and behold, it's like somebody who tried not to get coronavirus. I'm not saying I got COVID, but it's like when you like you're doing things right, like taking precautions not to get sick, and then suddenly somebody coughs right on you and gets you sick. And it's like, are you serious? Like, it's that joke, like, oh yeah, the coronavirus finally got me. It was determined. Kind of a joke, dry joke. So yeah, I caught some kind of cold or something like that, and I quarantined for like 10 days. And like, it was like, straight up like white blood cells, when you get white blood cells going through when you have a mouth and throat infection, when you have a throat infection and a lung infection, which is what a cold and coronavirus is. It's a viral infection of the sinus cavities in the lungs. Your white blood cells start changing the color of your, kind of gross, but you get all that. So I had the symptoms of a cold, quarantined, So, and then also somebody's at the very same time I get up after that, and somebody stabbed someone else in the shelter, right in the leg, like, like 15 feet away from me, somebody stabbed someone in the leg, and the cops show up and everything because like he had to like call an ambulance because he was like bleeding out or something. I don't know. Then he's like in the back of the cop car smoking a cigarette, like smoking a roll your own cigarette, with his leg bleeding out. And it was just like, I don't know. And then people walked up to me, like there's one guy that walked up to my bed and like started like muttering like stuff under his breath. He was muttering stuff under his breath, and then like saying he was gonna take me out on the street and beat the living expletive out of me. And then like, okay, whatever, ignore him. Sorry, like I was like, sorry, sir, I don't know what you're saying, because half of it like was like, he starts talking about, oh, I saw you in Flint, and I saw you over in Detroit, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, I wasn't in Flint or Detroit, so crazy talk, like when like a crazy person just like, you're walking, doing some commuting, and like a crazy person starts to, like walks up to you and just starts talking some like gibberish. That's what he was doing, and then he comes up to my bed 4 more times and does the same thing, and that was before the fact. And yeah, it was just kind of like, and then everybody was getting robbed, like in the shelter, like people were robbing each other and stealing phones. It was just like, geez, I've kind of had enough, so I had to get out of there. And then, at the shelter down in Flagstaff, Arizona, after this lady stole my bike, this guy stole my bike and gave it to this lady that was there, and then I'm at the shelter there, and the lady, she never got arrested, but she showed up there and she passes out she passes out on the ground while she's in line for the meal, and like, I didn't even know she was there, and then she sees me and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, at least you got your bike back, blah blah blah. And then at the other shelter in Flagstaff, they some guy snuck a bottle of booze in, and he's passing it to the other guy right next to me, like passing it to him, and he's just sitting there, like they're sitting there swigging booze, like right there in the shelter, which is like, okay, I don't care if like let the man drink, which is cool, but like, they were all had like the worst attitude I've ever seen in my life. Like they were all like, I don't know, they were all like screaming at the people in the shelter and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of there. So I get out of there, and then my e-bike gets stolen the morning. And then it's just like, what's up? I would appreciate just going to a shelter and like being around sane people, ideally like people that didn't drink, let alone like every single person is smoking cigarettes and drinks, which is, that's fine. Let someone smoke, let someone drink, if somebody wants to take a medication, let them take their medication. If someone wants to smoke, let them smoke. But it's just like, and I just kind of had to get away from that environment. So now it's like, okay, I would be fine with going to a shelter, but I would not this shelter and not that shelter and not the other shelter. So I could chance it and go to Florida and see what the shelters are like there. And I don't know what the capacity is, if it's a 50-person capacity or more, and like, if I get in there, like, is it going to be full some nights? I'm not going to be able to get in. Like, what's going on with that? And I can't see myself taking my bike there. And locking it up. and then trusting that it won't get cut, because I just feel like somebody's gonna show up with an angle grinder. Even though I've watched videos, like apparently angle grinders can't even get through the cord that I have. Like a lot of bike locks, like angle grinders can't even cut them. I still don't trust it because my battery isn't locked in, so they'll steal my $300 battery. You know, e-bikes are actually more expensive than a moped. E-bikes actually cost like $3,000 to $4,000 to buy one that was already made. I have a $1,200 conversion, so that's actually cheap. To convert an e-bike is going to be the same price as buying a moped. And that's going to be, it might be cheaper to maintain, but it's probably going to be more expensive to maintain an e-bike, because an e-bike eats up your drivetrain. It eats up your chain, and it eats up, and then if you're riding in the salt on top of that, because you know, you're always riding in off-road rough conditions, it's like it's eating stuff up. You know, just like you have to replace stuff for your car. Like once you put a motor on a bike, it's just like, you know, it's I don't know. I cleaned my bike every day. I remember I was cleaning it after every ride, and still the drivetrain would wear down. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's why I just got kind of sick of it. You know, and then it's like you're replacing components, and it's like, geez, I mean, I don't want to replace components on this bike. Ideally, I don't want to buy a new bike, but I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know. And then I should have a beater bike, you know, which is a bike that I could just use alternative to this. And this is talking about in a good climate, not in winter conditions. I don't even have... Yeah, I don't know. I should have a beater bike. And I don't, and I can't. I'm not going to buy a freaking bike. I don't want to invest any money in a bike. I don't even have any money, you know what I mean? So... Yep. Went to the library and I got checked out like about 10 books. Apparently, I didn't know you're allowed to check out up to 100 bucks from the library. So I've got about 10 books from the library. So I've got some reading I want to do. Then, you know, I put in about all those applications, and then this week I'm checking my email, and once again I'm getting all these things like, oh, they passed over your application. It's just like, are you serious? Like, it's not like I'm applying for, you know, a high-end job, you know? I'm not... I've got a job at Jimmy John's apparently, but it's just like, I don't want to be... I'm not going someplace to another city to be an e-bike delivery driver. I don't even know if that's going to pan out. So, yep. I don't really have much else to say right at this moment, but I think I'm going to keep this more like streaming, and I don't know, just a little less edited or whatever. Because it's not like by saying this, there's going to be some kind of, you know, retribution moment. I don't know, like conclusion. You know, like me, like, you know, saying this, therefore concluding that this will happen because I recorded all my thoughts on camera, therefore, or like saying this, therefore a job will happen, or like therefore I will do this action, or I'll, you know, turn the camera off and make the perfect next step. I don't think that's going to happen, you know. Just being real. You know, I'm almost 30. It's like, what's gonna happen? If you know what I mean. I'm hoping lifting some. So 3 days ago, I started lifting weights and stronger. So I'm hoping that helps. But I also don't like lifting weights because like you get stronger and like if you want to get some stuff done, like you know, I don't like bodybuilding, but like when you bodybuild, you can just like get some like heavy stuff up, lift it, boom, go down the road, get there, slam your bike down, and boom, you're there. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't really like that feeling. Like, I like just being like skinny, but like, because you just feel like a ball of muscle. Like, you're just working, and you're like, don't talk to me. I'm just like, you know, you feel like a ball of muscle, and like you can get stuff done. You can work. And I understand not everybody who lifts like that's not what it does. But to me, when I put on muscle, like, you know, you just kind of... And again, I don't have round muscles, and I did one biceps workout, that's it. But, I mean, so, like... First of all, I don't have big arms. I've got, you know... I'm basically the same... I'm not saying I started lifting. Like, I look normal right now. You know, when somebody doesn't lift, like, it's just an arm. Okay? I don't have... My bicep doesn't end right here. I don't have muscle, you know, round muscles, whatever. What I'm saying is that, like, you just kind of, like, feel like a ball of muscle. And just feel more tense. But you can lift stuff because, you know, we place our value on people by their capacity to work and make money. And usually employers make jobs that people absolutely don't want to do, and they fill them with tasks that people absolutely don't want to do, and that's why people quit these jobs so often. And what they like you to do is just moving stuff. It's like, oh wow, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't want to move, just like sit there and move stuff for the rest of my life, like a machine. But that's what we place our value on. And it's like, are you kidding me? The people that make money and get rich don't even move stuff as a job. You know what I mean? But it helps with that. Like, I would rather I've not lift weights and do something that isn't based on moving stuff around. But then it's like, even when you're beyond that, just trying to commute down the street, it's just like, I don't know, just... I don't know. Just thinking right now. So yeah, I didn't want to end it, like, I shifted gears towards talking about bodybuilding. It's just like, okay, I don't know. But I'm losing the point because this isn't necessarily for other people. This is like a personal vlog. I'm going to post it, but this isn't for, like, it's not for, like, informing someone about anything. Yeah, like, I'm not informing anyone of anything. Teaching them about anything, like a how-to or anything. Or saying, like, so I'm not, I don't know why, I don't know. No topic necessarily. Not a topic, this is more of a stream. I'm not live casting it though, so it's not a stream. It's a recorded video. I've recorded, so in advance. I was doing good with my diet in the last 3 days, and then suddenly, like, no, just didn't do very good with the diet yesterday and this morning. Which is, disappointing because, like, oh yeah, you make it 3 days, and, like, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just not eating healthy, but, like, just, I don't know. So, whatever. Not that that even matters. You can eat healthy and feel a little bit. One might feel like a little bit better. I wouldn't call it like a tonic or a cure for wellness, really. Like, there's like, obviously money. Okay, going to try not to talk about money right now, even though money is the most important thing above everything. Like, money is more important than food for a living, practically. That's a joke. So, I don't know. But it's like, you can't just say, oh yeah, I'm not going to think about food. Like, you literally have to eat at least 3 times a day. I'm not talking about meal structure or anything, but I'm just saying, And then also, like, if you completely just stop eating, like, I didn't eat, not yesterday or the day before, I went the entire day without eating, and I felt great. And, like, the next day, yesterday, I was like, it wasn't a bad day, but, like, tense all day. And, like, then suddenly I just, I don't know. It was just very tense yesterday. Like, how, like, you get road rage? Like, like you're going out driving, and suddenly, like, the driving conditions are awful. All the roads are iced up to the point where, like, your bike can't even, like, go on, like when it's like 3 inches of ice or like heavy slush and snow. Like, your bike can't even stand up. So you get the equivalent of road rage, which is, people use that for car driving, for a 4-wheeled vehicle rather than a 2-wheeled. But, like, you're not an angry person. Like, you're not an angry person, but you don't have any money, therefore you're angry. You're not an angry person, but you went on a death ride and you, like, had a horrible bike ride, so therefore you're angry. And there's only so many days where you can be, okay, I'm zen with no money. Like, how zen can you be with, like, no money constantly? Or, like, there's only, like, you can't every single bike ride or every single time you drive your car be completely zen. Like, you get some road rage sometimes, and you get overwhelmed by anger, and then, like, suddenly you're, like, boiling over with anger, because that's what it does. It boils over. You know what I mean? That's a metaphor. It doesn't literally boil over. And you get angry and you say something that you, like, immediately the moment you say it, you're like, wow, I kind of regret saying that, but, like, I don't know. This is partially, like, my dry sense of humor and all that. So, yeah, that's how I felt yesterday, like, just kind of tense, like it kind of just felt like, road rage, like you're just tense, like, just kind of boiling over. Why? Because, that's stuff that I don't want to talk about on camera. Because then you're talking about other people, and you know, how they affect you, and you know, how when they communicate, like when they can't communicate like an adult, you know, like just talk like an adult, you know what I mean? And they cannot talk like an adult. I didn't want to go into it. But like someone just does not have the capacity to speak like an adult whatsoever. That'll make you start boiling over with rage after like 30, like, you know, when you're 30 years old, and like you kind of tire of what is it? You get tired of talking to grown people that don't talk like they're grown. You know, like, you know, the best conversations you've ever had in your life was with a teacher, you know, like in a classroom educated environment. That was something that was going through my head. You know, the central processing unit, if you want to think of like a motherboard, your mind. Mind, when people say mind, though, that sounds ethereal. When in the honest truth, it's probably closer to a computer. You know, the most complex computer ever, obviously. You know, but I mean, like, it's probably closer to that. That was just something that was going through my brain, mind. You know, going through my head. So, thinking about, contemplating was, you know, talking to people personally. I don't think I've had a good conversation ever, really, to be honest. And best conversation I've ever had in my life was in a classroom setting, or not like personally, but like you know, just like taking you know, an online course, like, and hearing that like kind of feedback like through an educated setting, to me is like, I don't know, it was like, it's like the best conversation I've ever had. That's what it feels like, you know what I mean? And then when you go to that, to the contrast of somebody that doesn't even know how to talk like an adult, it's like, at 30 years old, it feels sickening. Sickening, is that the right word? It's just like, not sickening, because they're like, okay, whatever, you know, what's our platitude for today? That's life. That's or it is what it is. That's the two big platitudes right there. I need a synonym for that word, for platitude. Dead metaphor is kind of a synonym, but it's not. I need to figure out some other synonyms for it. So, yeah. I'd like to start taking, branching out and taking some more online courses through, like, even a university, if I can get tuition coverage. Not even if I graduate, but just to get a few credits and get the college experience, 'cause I've never taken a college class, so I would like that experience. 'Cause, yeah. So I'd like to do that. I'm thinking out loud. Got a notification bell on my phone ring. Just the AccuWeather app. Apparently it's what? As per usual, it's a weather alert. Open another snowstorm. Oh, great. I was enjoying at least being at the road being clear enough for me to at least go down without falling. And now there's a special weather alert. And I'm literally, you know, over 5 miles away from any place that I need to go to. and there's a weather alert, so that's great. Fun. What's the date today? Because I don't have to find out what the date is. The date is the 27th of 2022. It's like 2:30 right now. Hoping the audio works for this video. And it looks like this video is close to an hour, so there's my hour of footage at that, and I got another 2 hours of footage earlier. And honestly, this is actually important. I didn't film for the last 2 months, and I very much regret it. There's a lot of stuff that I should have gotten onto camera, whether it be, what I was like, not even necessarily what I was thinking about or contemplating, whatever. Like, not to be stoic about it, but like, things that, because, this stuff is real. You know what I mean? Like, these, like, when you're saying, oh yeah, you don't talk about, like, what you're thinking about, like, okay, but, like, when the things I just talk about, like, that's real life, like, take it seriously. Like, shut up, okay? This is real life. Take it seriously. So, yeah. I wish I would have gotten some stuff onto camera for the last 2 months. At the same time, there wasn't necessarily anything exciting going on. And to me, as soon as I get past Illinois, like outside of, I don't know, even like, I like Chicago. Chicago, Illinois, that's one of my favorite cities on the planet. But I don't know, just like, immediately once I get out of Michigan, like, this isn't a negative thing because I like Grand Rapids and I like Michigan, but yeah, I just immediately, it doesn't feel odd to film myself when I'm going out and about and like public. I'm not going to film other people, even though, like, people are driving their cars down the street and they've got cameras beaming at the cars in front and behind them, and they're filming people constantly, and people are constantly filming people in public. Paparazzi is filming celebrities. People are waking up and streaming their entire drives to work. Like, they'll just every single morning they get up and film their entire lives on streaming, and then they film their drive to work and everything, along with like the people on it and everything. So to me, that seems like an indication that okay, I can film in public, and don't have to be paranoid. I'll be mindful of other people in my videos. I'm not going to get other people on camera, but I constantly, there are people filming millions, because how many billions of people are there on the planet, and everyone's got a computer, not just a camera. They got a camera with a motherboard. This is a very micro, like, small motherboard where everything is all like in one unit. They've all got one in their pocket, and they're all filming everything in their lives. And then people like to pretend that our lives don't center around technology. They like to pretend like, when you're driving to work, you're not using your motherboard to get satellite down for navigation, for Google Maps, the app, for Google Maps to navigate, or you're not getting in your car and the entire thing is electronics, it's technology, and I mean, not even everything, all technology is electronic, you know what I mean? For sake of discussion, though, let's say technology is electronic, whatever. Or like you say, your life doesn't, like, all businesses need the internet and a Wi-Fi router. They need that. They know you need a printer. Like, our lives literally center around tech. That's the number one job growth market. Of course, I'm like, and apparently it's gonna be growing. There's I digress. So. I wish I was working in a tech job right now. That's what they need. They need trained, smart workers in tech. That's what the companies are saying is, we want everybody to get trained, start training yourselves. It's not like it's some limited, like, silicon, like, closed-in thing where, like, there's a limited amount of jobs. Obviously, there's competition for a job. And they're probably, if I applied, it's going to be the same thing. I put in 1,000 applications to 1,000 different jobs, and everybody passes over my application. I'd like to be trained for that, though. And that's like a career interest. I don't know if that's going to be my career. I'm 30. I don't have a job. Is anything going to pan out? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know if an hour video is going to upload or not. It should. It'll probably take a while. I want to go and get my second vaccine right now, and I can't. There's no pharmacy within 8 miles of me right now. So that would be a 16-mile round trip. I could take the bike with no pedal down there, but last time I got vaccinated, I couldn't see straight. My vision went blurry. And when I would look at light beaming through the shades in my window, when I would close my eyes, I could when you have a fever and you got 104 degrees and suddenly it's you're cooking right now, just things feel weird. That's I was looking at the light and then I closed my eyes, and how you get, they call them dendrites. When you close your eyes, you see dendrites, little sparks of light. I could still see the light from the curtains, I'm oh wow, this feels just like a fever or a cold. And then I get up and I can't see straight. And this was the day before they reported problems with the Moderna vaccine. So I got sick from it. So I'm that's why I didn't get my second vaccine yet. After getting sick from that, I don't know if it was a cold or not. I'm well past. I've been better from that. I quarantined and then I've been better for a while now. So that was early this month. So of course I stretch and yawn. I'm oh yeah, I'm better from that, and but really though, it's been a few weeks. I've been better. So, and I quarantined for 10 days. You know what I mean? I want to go and get my second vaccine though, and even if I get sick for the next few days, I'm just whatever. I'll get some body aches and just be sick, and I'm gonna try the Moderna. Or not the Moderna this time. I'm hoping the Pfizer vaccine will not give me the side effects that I had last time. The body aches and everything. Because it was literally felt like I was sick. I said at the time, that means it's working. You're getting a stronger immune response. So, everything... So when you're getting a side effect, okay, yeah, you're building immunity. And that will probably offer me more protection because if I'm going to be on the train, I'd like to be vaccinated again. And to me, just because I value virtue, which is kind of, the U at the end of there, the last syllable. I value virtue. I would like to just get vaccinated again just because I value virtue and I believe in the science of it. And I believe in being in a classroom, and like when you take a class for when you take schooling for 8 years of higher education and you have to pass all your tests and get certified, and like you didn't fail, you passed. Then you develop a vaccine, and then you talk about the efficacy of it. I feel like that's more valid than someone who's completely uneducated to higher education saying they understand biology. So, personally. Not I'm right, I'm better than, I'm smarter than someone else. I don't know, so. Like, I've said like a million times in my life I don't think I'm smarter than anyone, and then immediately, just yesterday, I'm like, how much you want to bet the next person I talk to is going to be someone crazy? And then they tell me I think I'm smarter than everyone else, after I have said a million times that I don't. Like that, I don't know. That was one of the things that upset me. Yeah. Upset me. That's I was an angry person yesterday, and I was an angry bear, because I wanted to get out of the garage yesterday, and it was a death ride. My pedal falls off, but I get going. Fun. And I wanted to kind of keep that off camera. At the same time, why would I want to keep that off camera? Like, I need stuff to look back on, So, I'm not a guitar player. I'm not bad at guitar, actually. Like, I know for a fact, like, I've seen people on Twitch, like, streaming their guitar, like, and they can barely even like play like a Ramones riff, you know what I mean? Like, and they've been like streaming for a while, and they're struggling to play like basic riffs. So then I'm like, okay, I can play that. But I like picked it up today, and like in my head I thought I was playing 3 very difficult songs. And I can play the riffs in it. Like, I can. You know what I mean? But I was, like, on purpose, like, intentionally being sloppy. And what I was saying is I'm getting kind of, like, sick of recording guitar, because it's not like I'm going to get any viewers, and it was more, I've kind of liked it for the personal thing. It's not even about being cool. It's like, life is so freaking boring that, like, I don't even care if I'm never going to get good. Like, I need like something to do. Like, I was at the homeless shelter. I'm like, we're all sitting there watching CSI. Like, they had us doing nothing, and I'm like, you just need something to do. But then like, guitar can be kind of time consuming, even to just learn a few songs. Like, if you're actually going to practice, it takes like 2 or 3 hours to like even practice. Like, if you're actually properly practicing, which I never have really, to be honest. And even if I did, I'm not gonna get good. I don't have I don't know. It's just like the basketball thing, like or the marathon thing. I can run a half marathon. Does that mean I'm an athlete? No. I can play some tough riffs. Does that mean I'm good? No. But I can play some good stuff. So yeah, there's some people streaming like they can barely play, and they're constantly streaming themselves playing the instrument. So it's just like, okay, then I feel like I would just because it's it's 2022, and it's something to look back on, but it's not even like a viewer thing, you know. Like I probably, at best, one of my YouTube videos got like I don't know, 150 views or something. Which was kind of cool, I guess. But then beyond that, no views. Like it's just not like it's not even like a possibility for like if somebody looks something up on YouTube, it's not even a possibility for them to see my video. Like it wouldn't even show up on the I don't even like the word algorithm, but somebody programmed it. Like somebody programmed the search engine, and they went, okay, I'm designing this search engine to have a certain order and for these videos to show up when somebody searches. What's an example? You know, when somebody searches Google Analytics and they look it up on the search engine, this is what will show up. They program it like that. Okay, so they program YouTube search bar or whatever application, platform, media. Like it's not even possible for my video to show up. And then, you know, there are people that are actually doing everything right. They're getting like keywords, making thumbnails and everything. And they're not even getting any views. And they're doing everything right. And like, you know, they're not getting any views. So, I don't know. And that was never my intention anyways. But I mean, like, you know, I'm probably not even going to get any views whatsoever on any of my videos, to be honest, which was never the intention. It's personal, you know. And I actually wanted to vlog since I was 16 years old or something like that. I actually wanted to do that, and now I'm almost 30, and I wanted to vlog since I was 16. So, you know, I'm 28 years old, so it's been 12 years, and I've wanted to vlog, and I never did that. So, and, you know, looking back, there is some stuff that you know, I should have been trying to get an hour of footage every day of me talking to the camera, or not something, you know. Whether it be good or bad, or I say something completely whatever, crazy to some people, you know, weird, eccentric, not normal. To my mind, when somebody says I'm weird, I'm like, okay, yeah, like my lips look different when I talk than like a lot of people, you know. But like when they say I'm weird, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, just like there's someone, you know, right in your area like filming themselves smoke like 2 pounds of weed a day from sun up to sundown, and like, not that there's anything wrong with like smoke. Okay, whatever, do whatever you want. Like, do whatever you want. But I mean, like, you know, when people say I'm weird, I'm like, are you kidding me? Just go on the internet, or like go in an inner city environment, like go in the city. Like I know like when you're in like the suburbs and like nicer areas outside the city, there's not very much weird stuff that goes on, and like people kind of stay in their houses and like they don't walk and like city commute and stuff like that. But like when people say I'm weird, I'm like, have you ever gone and walked in the city? Have you ever like gone to Los Angeles and like walked on Venice Beach and like and like seen all the characters that are walking around LA? And it's not even a famous thing, because like nobody acts like they're famous over there. They're actually more real than in this where I am right now. Like they're like, it's more like, oh, life is real, like, you know, like but yeah, like people say I'm weird, I'm like, are you serious? Like, you know, I'm 28, so I've you know, I've heard everything there is to say. Like someone will say like, you're 28, you haven't heard everything. I've heard everything. Okay, there's nothing you can say that I haven't heard. You know what I mean? Like, whether I'm not talking about like, you know, personal insults or anything like that, but just like, and not I know everything or like smart kind of thing, but like, I don't know. So when somebody says I'm weird, I'm like, really? You know what I mean? And then also like when you're 28, all these quote unquote normal people, whatever. Like not to focus on that as a topic of conversation. Although it's very real for a lot of people. But a lot of these normal people, like, suddenly you're 28 years old and you're like, okay, a lot of these people that quote unquote claim they're normal, like what they consider to be normal, is only related to anything that isn't related to work or houses, like, suburban living or houses or house ownership or property ownership or like property maintenance, like landscaping, etc., or like improving a house, painting, blah blah blah. Like that's considered normal, and then like anything that isn't, like, okay, say you lift weights, lifting weights is weird. Playing an instrument is weird. Riding a bike is weird. Anything that isn't related to houses or work is weird, and it's like, so at that note, that means all musicians are weird, artists are weird, and it's not even like that versus like artists or thing like that. Like anything that isn't related to work or houses is weird, you know what I mean? And someone goes, okay, no, not even that. Like, I just think like you're weird. I'm like, like really? As I just aforementioned, go walk in the city and see the people that you see. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I got an hour. I don't know how it added up to an hour earlier, but I made like a Twitch stream, and then I looked back at the videos and I was trying to play, of course, Bodom, because that's like my favorite band. But like, just because they got like such good riffs, and not only that, it's not that the riffs are good or better than other bands, but like it's actually fun songs to play. Like just as like songs that you play, even if you aren't good at them, like it's just a fun like thing to do on the guitar, But then like you gotta get a whammy bar and do like dive bombs and tremolo pick, string skip, tremolo pick, pinch harmonics, dive bombs, harmonic notes, like where you're going over the 3rd and 5th fret and the 12th fret. So like obviously if you're not doing it like things perfectly, like at that level, you almost have to like mechanically, just from like a body mechanics wise, like, and like angles of like the way like you angle the pick and like you're striking the guitar, and just knowing about this doesn't mean you can actually do that in application. Like it has to be not like exactly spot on, like you can be loose and just kind of jam. But I mean, like, when you're playing stuff at that level, like intermediate and beyond, the body mechanics, like, you can't be messing around. Like, you got to do it like it's got to be done correctly, or like it's not going to sound right. But I mean, even beyond that, like, these are some very difficult songs, and in my head, like, I was purposely playing it like super sloppy, but like. Then when I listen to the video, I'm like, man, that I just felt like I was just like a little bit tighter than that, you know what I mean? But I was like purposely playing like sloppy, and when you purposely play like death metal sloppy, death metal is kind of tough to like. It's not stoner rock, like it's not like Black Sabbath or like I'm just use Black Sabbath for no lack of a better example. Like you can play Black Sabbath sloppy and it sounds good, like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like sludge and like stoner. But like when you're playing Children of Bodom sloppy, it's you can't play that sloppy. Like that's like it's gonna sound really bad sometimes. So like, I don't know. I was like, what I mean by that was like I was experimenting with like, you know, heavy, like very much muting the strings, and then like I play them back, and yeah, it didn't sound too good. So it was an hour of like when you play back the songs. It's not like I'm playing Ramones, you know. I'm playing like some of the hardest Bodum songs, which is This Road, you know. Let's get the amp on. Yeah. So first I'm going to do a pull off. Then just two. So first off, I'm gonna have a tough time getting this clean. So yeah, just from like a mechanics wise, you've got to be spot on just from like a mechanic, like at that level when you're playing death metal, you've got to be like spot on. Like you can't play that sloppy. Like all of it's got to be not clean, but like you can't be messing around, you know. So that's a lesson I'm going to take from that video is I was like, here's another thing I was doing. I was playing like I was digging into the strings because like I was lifting, so I was just feeling stronger, and I was digging into the strings. And when you're digging into the strings, first of all, you're creating heavy fret buzz, which mutes the notes. I was playing crappy. Okay, whatever. But I was digging in and like, I don't know. It was fun. It didn't sound too good. See what I mean? Like when you really dig in. Like just surface level, like when you're just striking the string. Let's play a harmonic. Makes the harmonic sound a lot better. I don't know. When I never play with like the music off because I can't remember the riffs. I don't know why. Just can't remember it. I don't have the RAM capacity to store that like right in my short-term memory. Like it's kind of there in like the long-term memory. Like I'll turn on the tab. I'm like, oh, okay, I remember that, but like I don't have the RAM for it. So yeah, I don't know. I was digging into the strings, doing that. I was palm muting all the way over here. I've got kind of like a more basic heavy gain sound right now, where like I like the tread plate. It's based off the dual rectifier, the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, which is a classic high gain amp for like heavy. So it's based off that cabinet at least, the tread plate, and I really like when I'm going for like I want something like thinner, like kind of like You know, more like what Metallica, like modern Metallica uses, maybe, or you know, just Queens of the Stone Age is a bad example, but like, you know, they like, you know, to use some songs where like it's just a very thin sound. So I liked this for that. So this for that, this or that, whatever. Example. Okay, and I was playing that, and I put back the riff. I'm like, that was not clean. First of all, they always play their riffs. It's death metal, and even for death metal, bottom isn't fast. It's actually a little bit slower picking, like on the tremolos, than say death or something like, you know, where it's just like, you know, fast tempo. Or it's a better example than death. The best example would be who did Pierced from Within, that album, 93. Suffocation, that's a good example of really fast tremolo. Suffocation and Death. No. So I thought I played it clean. So and this riff did not sound good. It's only 2 notes on the 5th fret. Screw it up. This yeah, whatever. Then I tried to do the natural harmonics and it sounded horrible. So I don't know how to get those drawing out more. Anyways, I didn't want to start playing right there. I got sidetracked. A little ADD right there. Like I said, it's streaming. I was trying to figure out the riff. I'm like, whatever. Oh. Let's try. So, yep, that. I played that, and then what else did I play? Death Song. You can't play Winter Sun on Twitch. They'll block your audio if you play Winter Sun. So I played 2 Winter Sun songs, and they blocked the audio for both of them, so you can't play Winter Sun on Twitch. Winter Sun's all about the money, apparently. I'm joking. You know, I like that band, and I like the members in the band. And they do a lot for their fans, so I can't say that. That's not true at all, actually. Actually, a lot more other bands, I would say, is actually the opposite. A lot of other bands are actually more about the money, so I take that back. So anyways, but you know, there's music rights, you can't play that on Twitch. Winter Sun, you can play Bottom. They blocked some of the audio on Megadeth. I thought you could play Megadeth. I don't know what's going on with that. So you can't play Encipherum. I don't know why they're blocking the audio for that. Because I'm seeing other Twitch streamers, you know, I don't know if they play Winter Sun, but I've seen them play Megadeth. I mean, rest in peace and blah blah blah. So, and then also these songs are so technical. It's like I'm not gonna be a good guitarist, you know. Just like I'm not successful in anything else. Just like what's gonna pan out? Nothing's gonna happen. You know. My sinuses are starting to bother me right now. It's been better today though, so far. I've been having a CO. It's I don't know if it is this condition, but I mean same symptoms as COPD, which is a lung condition. Of the like, COPD like is like running a mile while you're trying to breathe through a coffee straw. Like, you know, tell somebody to start jumping up and down while they're breathing through a coffee straw, you know, and that's what it feels like. Like it just will not breathe, you know, you just can't breathe, and it keeps recurring over and over and over. So even like I'll feel well, like physically, like energy wise, and mentally, and then I'll get this it's like asthma, or because you can have asthma where like you get asthma and it's not even an allergic reaction to something, you know. I can't remember what that's called, but it's not a non-allergic asthma attack. Not an attack, but you know, like COPD is like that. You're breathing through a straw. So I don't know why that's happening. Every single winter I get bloody noses like every day, and this is the first winter I haven't been getting bloody noses every day because I've been wearing the face mask. When I'm out, I'm wearing the parka to help cover that up, so that helps. So when I'm going out, walking outside, I don't get nosebleeds when I'm doing that. Still got that breathing condition thing going on though. I got a little sick last night, and then I woke up and felt sick, and then I got energy enough to go out and about and do some stuff. So I don't know. I get sick like a lot, so but not sick in the regard of like like a viral infection like coronavirus and what have you, or a cold. Oh. And I'm almost 28 and it's still happening, so it's like, what's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna pan out. And it's not like I have a belief like, oh yeah, because they talk about like, oh, talking therapy to a therapist, blah 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 blah. Not that I want to go on about this bullshit. That talking about it will make it better. It's not like me vlogging. Okay, now I feel like I'm talking to someone else. I'm kind of talking to myself, like video logging this for myself. I don't know if I still want something to look back on, 'Cause I wanted to film stuff for 12 years, so I'm actually finally did that. Started back in like November, like actually just talking to the camera. So, and yeah, I'd rather talk to a camera any day over someone in real life. People in real life don't talk about anything unless it's related to their chat room topic. Like, they only want to talk about, not even, I only talk about me, like, because most people, like, whatever, they're indifferent, or maybe smug, indifferent or smug, like, they're almost indifferent, but more on the side of smug. Some people are nice, but, like, nice, indifferent, but nice, they're indifferent and nice, like, sort of like, lawful neutral, but I mean, like, I've never had somebody be like, oh, like when I'm homeless and I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, I didn't have anybody be like, oh, here's some food, or here's a quarter, you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Not like a hand. I'm saying I was asking for a handout or anything like that. You need money to live, and you can't live without anything. Well, as I said, that's what I was saying was, that people don't really want to, like, okay, say you talk about riding a bike. Most people don't want to talk about riding bikes, and it's like, it's not their chat room topic, so, like, why would I talk to someone in real life about anything, really, when I can just talk to the camera, Like, say somebody, like, somebody wants to talk, their chat room topic is, houses. They only want to talk about what kind of paint something is, or, like, something related to that, or, like, trim. And then the moment you want to talk about something outside of their chat room topic, it's weird, or whatever. You know what I mean. So like, why would I talk to someone in real life when, like, I don't know, I should just be jotting my thoughts down via vlog, so then I can actually say this stuff and, like, I can listen myself back and, why not, So, I don't know. I mean, I'd talk to someone, like, maybe, like, via chat, but I don't like the, as far as the platforms I've seen, I don't like the audience for it, so it wouldn't be my target audience. I don't like people that, I don't like pot, I don't like, or booze. I've never been a heavy drinker, in my teens I drank a little bit, just because everyone, when they were a teen, they were a moron, and they don't understand the consequences of drinking when you're a teenager. because you don't really start to like feel like you're maturely like, more educated about things until like you're in your late 20s. Not that I'm educated, okay, and not that teenagers aren't smart. You know what I mean? Everyone's smart. At the same time, when I'm saying like everybody's smart, like nobody's stupid. Like it takes a lot of mental energy and time and thought and good decisions to stay alive even. You know what I mean? Like if you're still living and breathing right now, that takes a certain amount of intelligence, you know what I mean? Especially after the coronavirus pandemic and all like the wackiness in 2022, like just staying alive to this point, it takes a certain amount of intelligence. That's a mute point. I'm not saying actually, like, you can be an idiot and still be alive. Whatever. Anyways, I don't know what I was originally saying, but, yeah, so, like, but people aren't as smart as they think they are. Like, they're not actually smart. Like, if you don't have a master's degree, you're not, like, as smart as you could be. Like if you sat there and drilled yourself all day, you're crunching like, this is something, you're resting your head while you're studying it, like in school, like taking classes for 8 hours, like you're crunching your brain essentially. That's a bad word for it. Focusing, you gotta do all sorts of things to make yourself focus, whether it be this or that other thing. Stand up for 10 seconds so you can keep focusing on your class. Like if you do that for 8 years of higher education, I'm not talking about high school education. I haven't done that yet, but to my mind that seems like actually being smart rather than like someone saying they're smart. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. And there's a lot of smart people out there. You just look at test score. I mean, I don't know. And I mean, smart people can be stupid, and stupid people can be smart. So there's that at the same time. I don't know. I don't remember what I was saying originally. I mean, I don't have anything to do right now. I don't have a job. And at that, I'm not going to work food service, and I'm not going to work that job that you don't want to work for more than a few months. Everybody gets to a point where they want to work a job that they want to work. And I was trying to apply for that and put in thousands of, hundreds and hundreds of applications for not even high-paying jobs, but like more things that I would like to work, and then like they all pass over my application. So it's like, then Jimmy John's offered me a job, but like when I'm saying get work, I'm like, I'm not going to Arby's down the street with that now hiring sign and applying there. You know what I mean? Like, and also it's like, why is there a now hiring? Why do you have to advertise that you're hiring right now? If you're a company and you have to put a now hiring sign, like, companies should always be hiring. There shouldn't even be a now hiring sign. Companies are always hiring. You know what I mean? Like, so why would they have to advertise that they're hiring? What, did their entire team quit or something like that? And I mean, this isn't any surprise. Everybody knows that most of these entry-level positions are BS jobs that nobody wants to do. And for some reason, employers create this job market of like this stuff that, it's like they could be creating less menial task. Honestly, I don't want a job that's based on moving stuff. Obviously, I'll move some stuff. I'll do some work. You know what I mean? Take it seriously. I want to try to get a job in IT support or a bike mechanic or whatever. But apparently the bike mechanic isn't happening. It's been how many months now? I've been applying for a bike mechanic job for I think 3 or 4 or 5 months now, 6 months now. really seriously like putting in some applications for the last 3 months, and I still don't have a bike mechanic job, so don't think that's gonna work. And I have a good resume too. I made a good resume. So at that point, and I mean, it's not like a bike mechanic's a great job. That's an entry level position. You know, at best you're making $20 an hour at the very best, and you know, usually more like in this area. Of course, we don't have $15 minimum wage, so you're making $14 an hour, and they think they're doing you a favor because it's not minimum wage here. Yeah, it's more like $14 an hour here, I think, in this area. So $14 an hour, that's minimum. That's basic. That's base wage. So that's why it's like, oh yeah, really, that I don't know. Sinuses are starting to bother me again. I don't know if it's this. I don't know. This garage probably isn't the best. But beyond that, I mean, any environment gets sinus problems. I got, like, on the train when I was going from LA, I've got this footage and everything. My nose starts bleeding right when I get on the train. And then I get to Flagstaff, and I'm in the homeless shelter, and like, you know, I'm sleeping, and like, you know, I just notice all this drainage, and I'm like, what's going on? And then I get up and go in the bathroom, my nose is just like bleeding, and like the entire time I was in Flagstaff, Arizona, my nose was bleeding. So apparently my meat suit does not like the cold. Or not my meat suit is stupid. Sinuses don't like the cold, you know. Because I noticed that nobody else is getting bloody noses every single winter, all winter long. And I am, so yeah. Should probably shift gears. Yeah, it's starting to bother me right now. I'm starting to get that coffee straw, like you feel like you're breathing through a coffee straw. And, yeah, I can just tell my face looks visibly irritated from it, so I guess I'm not going to be able to hide that. I've got that asthma feeling right now. Kind of painful. I'm gonna get some water. That's life. That's the platitude. That's life. So, once again, you don't want to put any money into your car. That's life. You gotta buy a new car now. Yep. Ugh. I just didn't. I don't know. I kind of would like to shift gear to a different topic. That's painful. It hurts a lot. Like I said, I get sick constantly. So I don't know what's the deal. Whatever people's definition of sick is, whether it be a viral infection or like an allergic reaction or just whatever symptoms, I don't know. It's not comfortable right now though. And it gets a lot worse, so like I'm hoping it doesn't continue to progress and get worse. Today, so because I would like to have a decent night because it's 3:30 now. Looks like I'm getting 2 hours of footage. That's good. And at least when I film footage on this, unlike Twitch, I'm not going to get muted because for some reason I filmed 5 hours of like not guitar, like me just talking, like doing the in real life on Twitch, and it got muted. What's up with that? You know? And like then I look up what are these other people talking about on Twitch, and like, are you serious? So I don't know why I got muted. I wasn't breaking it. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about like topics other people were talking about. So obviously this world is adult and it's NC. This world is straight up NC-17. You know what I mean? This world is adult and it's for adults. And anybody that can't have an adult conversation, okay, then here's some Play-Doh. You know what I mean? Go play in the corner and act like this world is not for adults. Then, so. Shifting gears. I think I'm just gonna do some reading. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna get like 15-20 minutes of reading right now. And check my email for any responses to job applications right now. And I don't know, I might get some more video footage later of just nothing exciting.